ideas media. Dope ideas media.
Dope ideas media. Dope ideas media.
Welcome to Plug City. I'm your host, June. Dope Idea Media presents Plug City. I got my host, Logic, in the building.
Yes, sir.
It's been so long. I mean, I'm done. I don't want to. Ain't much to it. You take it away. I mean, who you got over there with you?
That's it's your boy Project Logic, man. We here with Dope Ideas Media, Hang Nation TV, man. We got a very special. The first interview we've ever done where June has called me with a professional. I need you here on time. We got to be ready to go. This is when I heard the professionalism in his tone. I knew this had to be something important, man.
I was passive aggressive though.
Very passive aggressive, very contentious, but it was good though, man. For a dope reason, man. We have brother, man, B Squeeze, Brandon Smith, man. Thank you for coming and rocking with us. I appreciate you,
sir. Thanks for having me.
So I'm not even gonna lie, man. I wasn't up on you until June hit me up 2 weeks ago. And because of how serious he was, I started down. I'm like, okay, let me take this serious. He being legit, you know what I'm saying? Let's check him out. And everything I looked up, man, all positive stuff, all dope stuff, all groundbreaking stuff, man. And I just saw it and I'm like, yo, yeah, we're gonna take this one serious, man. We're gonna make sure that when we bring you in here, man, we give you the respect you deserve, honor you the way you need to be honored, man. Because
I mean, don't we do that all the time, though?
We sprinkle in a little BS, you know what I'm saying? We play around a little bit.
It depends on who.
It depends on who it is, you know what I'm saying? But with this one, it was just like, yo, yeah, this dude is really doing this thing out here and doing things that a lot of things that you're doing are things that people who are in our circles are trying to do. So I feel like you got a lot of keys and a lot of information that can help those people out. But I want to start off by just, kind of talking about you a little bit, where you from, how you got started, your background, things like that.
Okay, dope. I grew up off 6 Mile in Myers.
Okay.
And I just love to hoop. That's all I did every day. My favorite player was Kevin Johnson and Isaiah Thomas.
Oh wow!
And he just opened a restaurant down there, so I had to go meet him.
That's what's up.
The Fixin's joint, right?
Yeah. So I just hooped every day, and then all my boys from middle school was talking about they was going to UAD High, and I was like, well, shoot, I'm gonna go too. And they was like, yo, they team kind of sucks, so we probably got a good chance at like really, getting on the squad there. So, man, we go to tryouts and like all my boys got cut first cut, all of them. And I made it to second cuts, and I was killing it. And so I just knew I was in. And man, they cut me, and that junk just broke my heart, like literally. And then I figured that it's a certain amount of diversity that's got to be on the team, and when a lot of their money come from alumni, so that's when I really learned that was probably what happened, because I knew the dude they picked over me was not better than me. But anyway, that just kind of really changed the whole trajectory of like my passion, and so I just really started getting into music, just writing songs. I didn't really know what I was doing. But by senior year, the passion was just too big to ignore, to the point where I barely wanted to go to college. And so I didn't even go to college. I went to the Focus Hope program, to get your master's degree in 5 years. And, but I also jumped into the studio right after high school. And I just was like, I fell in love, and I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so, so I was, I was an artist at the time. So I was going to the studio, I was recording these whack songs. I thought they was dope.
Hits.
But then I guess the producer thought they was whack too, because he stopped showing up. And so I had all this time prepaid for, and I had to start making my own beats. And they ended up sounding better than the producers. And that's where I really fell in love with, like, we're really making the beats, and I started meeting other artists and making beats for them, and I was like, yo, this is what I'm made for. So I started making the beats and started writing, and then just my basement just was, it was like that's where the artist was coming. And so I was really developing artists, without even knowing I was developing them. you know, and then I just noticed that, man, these artists need a lot. They need training, they need guidance, they need platforms. And so, you know, by then I was working at the casino.
Okay.
And then, man, I had worked there for 5 years, and I had this concept of this company called Star Factory that I had been, you know, mapping out like, yo, this is gonna be the training, this is gonna be the guidance, this is gonna be the, you know, the opportunities for these artists. But I was scared, you know, to quit my job. I was scared to jump out there and take that leap.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I had the crib, you know, I had my own crib, had my own car. And so I'm like, I couldn't imagine a world where like I wasn't getting a check every week. You know what I'm saying? Until I got fired. I got fired, and I woke up the next morning like I let the Lord wake me up. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to have to be there at 4 a.m. So I would wake up tired in the mud, 3 hours of sleep. Man, this is for 5 years straight. I did this. Yeah. Man, I woke up at like 9:30, just feeling good. Like not knowing where I'm gonna get money from, but I just was like that feeling of just be like letting the Lord wake you up, and just hearing the birds chirping in the sun. I just was like, man, I need this feeling every day. I need it. So, man, I started looking for a building, and I opened Star Factory 45 days later. I had no idea what I was doing. I never took business classes or nothing. I just started it all off passion. And I just grinded. Like if it was no parking lot I'm driving by where I'm not banging it with flyers. You know, I had an artist that I had him performing in 70 different schools over a 2-year span, like on a school tour. So I just was really putting my brand out there, and people didn't understand artist development. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they just didn't understand. Artists didn't understand like why do I need this? So it was a journey trying to get this thing off the ground. So I really didn't make a real profit until year 3. So I was living off the hot and readies and the Stephen Berry shoes, and, you know, the Starberries. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a struggle.
So hold on real quick. I don't want to cut you off, but I heard you skimmed by like 4 very important things. I heard you talk about 4 L's as if it was nothing. And a lot of people who we know, that's where the story ends. Hey man, we about to go to this school. Man, we the man here. They trap. I'm cut. What? Hey man, I'm about to start singing, and I'm about to go to the studio, and I'm gonna prepay for. Oh, you stop coming? Now I'm at the studio, and you ain't what? I got a job. I'm at the casino. People retiring from the casino. I got this to fall back. I'm what? Like, it's so many spots where I heard where your story could have ended. It just went somewhere else. And then you jump straight from being a singer and figuring out how to make beats on your own and how to produce, and then just skip, I'm gonna do this for other people. Like those in and of themselves could be our conversations, right? So with you being from where you're from, taking L after L, knowing you're talented, like what was it that was in you that made you say, okay, this didn't work, I'm here and I'm attacking it with that same vigor. Okay, that didn't work, I'm attacking this. Like I didn't hear a give up. Every L was quick. You know, like, yeah, I took an L and I moved on. Took an L, I moved on. What was it about you that made that so easy to do? Or was it easy to do? Maybe I'm assuming.
Oh, it definitely wasn't easy.
Okay.
You know, but like it was some suffering in there, you know what I'm saying? Like I think probably the biggest one was getting cut from the basketball team. Like that was the kind of pain that, because that's all I knew at the time, and I was in 9th grade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the point to where 10th grade, I was headed to the auditions, and I told my mother to turn around because I just could not take another L like that. And so, of course, I regretted it. Everybody saying, you would have made it this year. Went around and re-auditioned in 11th grade, was balling, but by then they already know who to, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
They know what seniors coming in. They know who they got their eye on.
JV they already know the players. You know what I'm saying? So it was just too late at that point. And so and it's really all just based on passion, man. Like every Saturday morning after Inside Stuff, man, I would be so inspired. I would be in the back. I would go in the backyard by myself, work on my handles, work on my layup packages. Like that's just what I knew.
Yeah, man.
That's just what I did.
Made everybody felt like they could make it. I remember watching that same thing, going out there trying to pull up. Like it wasn't in the cars for me, but Ahmad Rashad made me feel like I could. I remember them days, man. That was definitely.
Yeah, and I rode by my old hood the other day, and I looked in the backyard like, this where I used to hoop?
Man.
It's like, how did I not break my ankle? Because like it was crazy. Like it was not really, it was like a big old hole here, fence here. Like, but I swear I would be out there by myself for hours on Saturdays just getting it in. And so I really just took that same kind of work ethic. And once I started with the music, man, once I started making beats, I was in my mother's basement like 3 years straight. Like, cause when I got, I just was like, I was down there in a dungeon. You know what I'm saying? Like New Year's Eve would come and I'll look up, it'd be the second. I missed the whole, ball drop. I missed it because I was down there like locking in, like just putting in them 10,000 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then the casino thing, that was like, man, the way I got fired, I was facing prison, jail time. So it was way deeper than because it was like, it was like some Oceans, like
some Ocean's 11
stuff. But so I literally thought, like, I opened Star Factory and thought I was going to jail. You know what I'm saying? And so, and my girlfriend at the time was cheating on me with this celebrity. So like that was the hardest. That was the hardest period of my life. But that's where I learned that, like the power of prayer then. Cause like, I always been God fearing, but when I got fired and thought that my freedom was about to be taken, man, I ain't never prayed like that in my life. And I prayed and I prayed, and then I eventually did get arrested. Like it was like a 4-year like period where it's like a, what's they call it?
Investigation is on?
No, like where it like if it's after 4 years, they
statute
can't.
of limitation?
Yeah. Okay. So at the 3.5-year mark, that's when I got arrested. I'm like, what the?
You thought it was a wrap.
I opened 2 letters like, you've been charged with 2 20-year felonies. I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And so the whole thing is like, what I did with the casino for that to happen, I just was desperate at the time. I was, like everybody getting their check, they happy. I'm getting my check. That junk going to bills and debt. Yeah. And so it's like I have nothing left over. I'm like, how am I gonna get out of this cycle? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just sitting, I did, a little thing, you know what I'm saying? But then out of everybody who was doing it, I was the first one out. Like I got out. I'm like, yo, every hustle comes to an end. Yeah. I'm done. Yeah. Man, they kept going. They got caught. They snitched on me. And but every month after that, I'm thinking I'm going to jail. So it's going month after month, nothing. And then by the 3-year mark, it's like I'm a pillar in the community. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just like, I'm doing programs for kids and all of this stuff. I'm helping hella artists. Yeah. So I get this letter in the mail, and my stomach dropped. Like, what? So I had to turn myself in to sit in that jail cell with the dudes who snitched on me. Wow. And then ended up going to court with the help of my mother, paying for my lawyer, because I ain't really had money at the time. So I ended up going to court for a year. And Yeah, just got probation. So it was a blessing. It was a blessing.
Definitely.
But really, this really is my testimony, because the one thing I learned is that is how hard I prayed when I thought my freedom was on the line. I never even think about praying that hard just to get out of that rut of living check, check to check. So it's like, if I would have prayed that hard from the beginning,
You wouldn't have been there.
you know what I'm saying? God would have, you know what I'm saying? So that's really my message to everybody, is just like, you really think you think you got it bad until something worse happens.
Oh man.
Then you find out like how your relationship God really is, because sometimes God will knock you down to get your attention.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And so he definitely got my attention then. And that's something I always tap back into when I'm feeling like, yo, stuff ain't working out how I want.
Yeah.
Boom. Well, you know how you need to pray then. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. And then, like they always say, man, faith without works is dead. And it sounds like you matching the faith with the work. Like every prayer comes with something that you're doing after. And that's that perfect combination, you know what I'm saying, of understanding who you are, what you have to do, using God as your motivation to go out, do what you need to do. A lot of people think that I'm just going to pray and it's just going to fall in my lap. Clear, it wasn't a parking lot you rolled by that you didn't put flyers and leaflets in, because you're going to pray to give me the knowledge and pray to give me the strength and bless me as I'm going about doing it. But I have to do it still and give you the glory for giving me that, knowledge and wisdom. So like that's key with a lot of the, because I mentor younger people and things like that. I have children range. My youngest is in kindergarten. My oldest is in the 12th.
Okay.
So, it's always that understanding of, you have to make it happen. One of the hardest things it is for me to teach my children is I try to explain to them, in every situation, figure out what you can do to make it better. Because you harp on this person did that and that person did that and it's their fault. Oh, cool. You can't change them, but you can change you. So what can you do to make it better? Even though they're at fault, you dealing with it. And I think a lot of people miss that, which is why I wanted you to kind of go back and talk on that, because I wanted to hear from the jump. It just seemed like you had a mentality of, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. But and a lot of times people hear that and they don't know that you doing that is in the midst of struggles, is in the midst of being knocked down. But you just so focused on my goal. I fell down, I got back up. Yeah, staying on my shirt. So what? I'm still going forward. Yeah, I got a case. I'm still going forward. Yeah, my girl, I'm still going forward. People think because you're going forward, it ain't nothing pulling you back.
Exactly.
And they lose sight of that. So that's just the reason why I wanted to kind of have you speak on that, not to go on the specifics, but just it's all about how you choose to look at it, that dynamic. You can focus on what they did or you can focus on what you're doing. And I would assume that a large reason, a large factor into why you are where you're at now is because of that mentality. Yeah. And then now you're doing things that people look, because when I looked at it, I said, oh, he's on the Oprah network, he's on OWN. Like a lot of people from around here think that's not even possible. But when you so forward facing, like impossible doesn't really exist. Like I just have to do it. So that's dope, man.
When I was working at the casino, it's like it was a good job, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I just never felt like I belonged there. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, yo, I gotta be destined for greater, for greater than this. Cause I went to UAD, which is like a really good private school where everybody go to college. I was like the only one. So by that time, all my boys is graduating, pushing, nice whips, and I'm sitting here driving an Alero. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, yo, like I know you didn't put me on this path to be this when my vision is so much bigger. So it was just like it was just always that motivating factor. And when I got fired, it was just like my desire to never want to have a boss again was way greater than all of the stuff that was pulling me down. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, this is just being able to just go free when I want it. That kind of freedom was just like liberated me to the point where, man, I will bang any parking lot with flyer. I would do it. If I hear you humming in public, I'm pulling you over. Like, oh, you sing? Boom, flyer. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, I I had like I had to have that freedom. You know what I'm saying? I've had it now for 19 years.
Okay, so it's kind of speaking about that a little bit because you kind of went from the hustle and how you came up to the Star Factory. You being a singer, like, who were some of your inspirations musically that inspired the type of music you make, as well as who were some of your inspirations to have that entrepreneurial spirit? Because as you were saying, everybody go to college, get the degree, get the job, get the car, be content, and you're like, nah, that ain't me. So, like,
Right.
what in the midst of all that, what inspired you to become entrepreneurial? And then again, in the music, who did you look at as an inspiration for you in the type of music you were making and the type of artist you were looking for?
Got you. So like I never really saw myself being an entrepreneur. You know, I wanted to blow up in the music. You know, like that was the only vision. Like my biggest desire was like I wanted to have my own artist, and I wanted to blow up my own artist, and I wanted to write for them, and I wanted to do all of that. And so when the opportunity came to become an entrepreneur, the only one I ever known was my father.
Okay.
You know, my father owned his own insurance agency back in the day, but then he sold it. He sold it to, you know, white man. And he got played. Like they told him he was gonna be able to stay on as the CEO, and he was gonna get a certain amount of money. And I guess he didn't, the paperwork, I don't know, but
Yeah.
so it's like he sold himself real short. And so I looked at that, was like, man, I'm gonna make sure that never happens to me. You know what I'm saying? But I still didn't desire to be an entrepreneur, but that just always stuck with me, like, dang, like that was out cold. So and that's really what keeps me going. You know, now is just like, you got to keep going no matter what. Like, keep going, because like having a job is very tempting often when you are entrepreneurs.
Oh, man.
Like, you always go think about, man, that regular check will be real
Security,
nice
yeah.
at certain points, but you know, it's just, that's always a reminder that maybe you're not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? So, but musically, really all the 90s acts was my inspiration. The groups, you know, Shy, Jodeci, and then, you know, we had New Edition, all of them 90s groups. R. Kelly was a huge influence. Um, and outside of like R&B, Michael Jackson was the first concert I ever went to when I was like 7. Blew my mind.
I'm hating.
Blew my mind. Like, that was the only concert I went to. And then yeah, like, and then my father bought me a George Michael album, and I used to play the mess out of that thing.
George Michael, that's crazy.
Yeah, like that introduced me to a whole other side of music, you know, like kind of like, you know, all that guitar stuff and musicality. And so yeah, like when I started producing, it's like my vision, my ear, what I heard was like way beyond my comprehension, my musical skill.
Yeah.
And so once I started Star Factory, I actually retired as a producer, because number one, the time that it required for me to keep my skills sharp, I just didn't have no more. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much transitioned from being a producer to being more of a songwriter.
Okay.
Because right before I got fired, I had, you know, I was taking trips to Atlanta, and I ended up writing a song with my boy, and that ended up getting on the Backstreet Boys. And then when I started Star Factory, I ended up linking up with Trey Songz people, wrote a song for him. So yeah, like I wasn't able to like really continue with the producing, but you know, as a songwriting stuff, I was able to maintain that. Then I ended up kind of retiring from that, just because it was a lot of factors in that, and it was a very, very big decision. I had wrote the song for Trey, and this was after his producer had sent me like 40 tracks. So he emailed me 40 tracks. Over a span of 3 months, I emailed him back 40 songs. I heard nothing. You know what I'm saying? Crickets.
Yeah.
Like he would say, yo, this is dope. If I see Sierra, I'll play it for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you mean if you see her? Like, that's how this works?
Yeah.
If you see her, like I'm busting my butt. Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me go down there. So I went down there, and within minutes, I'm talking about, I pulled up to the crib. Within 5 minutes, I'm writing a song with Trey Songz. So that let me know, like, yo, if you go do this for real, you got to be down here, because wasn't no motion like that in Detroit at the time. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm either gonna do Star Factory, or I'm gonna be a full-time songwriter, which means I'm gonna be in the A. I'm gonna have to move. And so I fell asleep one night with the TV on, and I woke up at 5 a.m, and this movie was on called Little Giants.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Moranis.
And so it was the scene where they handed the little boy the football, and he seen his father in the end zone. And and his father had never came to his games. And so he juked out everybody to try to get to his father and scored the touchdown. Man, I started bawling. I'm like, why am I crying at this junk? Like, that just let me know, like, I got a heart for the underdog. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the moment I decided that I'm gonna do Star Factory, because that's really who I get to work with daily. I get to work with the underdogs. And then I also was like really confused and offended when I had first started Star Factory, because everybody was calling this Motown.
Yeah.
I'm like, Motown where? Where is Motown here? What do we have here that would even
resemble that?
It was nothing. It was a ghost town. So that really confused me, and it was just like, yo, we gotta have something here, because we got the talent. Because that Motown blood still here. You know what I'm saying? So that's really, why I continue. I retired from all the other music industry stuff, because I couldn't do both. It was almost impossible.
So you decided something else I just want to focus on real quick. All the L's we talked about earlier. You on the phone talking to your connect, and you're like, yo, if I run into Sierra, I'll play something for her. No telling how many other people he's saying that. And then you go down there. Then 5 minutes of getting there, however many minutes, you writing for Trey Songz.
With them.
In the studio with him. right there alone, somebody be like, yo, I made it. I'm here. Let me politic this relationship as far as you still work after the L's. You get a victory and you still not satisfied with that, because that's not your victory. Somebody else would have, hey, I'm out. I'm in the A. I was with Trey Songz. I'm with this management. I'm doing, and would try to finesse that and finagle that and work that to the fullest. You still felt that it was something there more for me. It was something more that I should be doing. And I'm going to come back and grind and build up other artists when I had the opportunity to make myself that. Like, that part, was there any trepidation there? Because it's like you're turning down where other people's game would have ended at to go back and build something. What was that portion like?
Well, there was like another L in there that also played a role, because my song with Trey, it got leaked. You know what I'm saying?
So it didn't make the album?
No, and because they had put Lil Wayne on it. So I had Trey and Wayne. I was a co-writer with Lil Wayne and Trey Songz, but somebody leaked the record, and the song never got put out on nothing. And so I just was like, I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be. But the state of the music industry at the time was like right after like digital download phase, going into streaming. It seemed very inconsistent and unsure of like where it was going.
Okay.
I just was like, I don't know if I want to bank all of my future on something that is so like my song could just get leaked like that and then nothing. Like I can't even prove it.
Yeah.
It's nowhere on the internet where you'll see my name on that song. Because when it gets leaked, it's they don't release the credits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I still was leaning more towards, you know, being, you know, going down there. But then it's just like once, you know, I feel like that was God speaking to me when I was crying with that movie, and I just decided that I'm gonna just, you know, I'm gonna follow my purpose.
There you go. So coming back here, then you starting up Star Factory. Your biggest credit to date at that time, the Trey Songz and Lil Wayne song didn't come out. I know a lot of people refer to today's internet scene, music scene, as kind of like hater culture, right? Where everybody is quick to dissent, quick to argue, quick to downplay. So how were you able to get artists and aspiring artists to come work under you? Because I know today the first thing they do, who are you? If I'm gonna listen to you and you gonna tell me, especially with from what I've seen, most singers are more so than rappers, I would say, have more, not necessarily a diva, but more so I know what I'm doing. I know, and now here you are coming telling them, do it like this, sing like this, dance like that, hold that note like that. Like once again, we was watching one of your videos when you did the 30-second note. I think it was 25 seconds when you held the note. And my girl could sing a little bit. So I'm actually like, is he actually holding the note or is he just singing and is the note changed? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so you clearly have the talent. You clearly could sing, but getting other artists to listen to you and allow you to develop them without them having the who are you mentality, the who are you attitude. How are you able to do that?
Room 12. Yeah. It's a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like I have realized that like this really is like it's a gift and it's a talent. And then when you are like sprinting like towards your gift, towards your purpose, people just see it. You know what I'm saying? Like they see it. And that's part of my development process.
Okay.
I'm like, I can make you a better singer. I can make you a better performer. I can make you a better songwriter. And then you could still sit there and do nothing.
True.
You know, which has happened a lot. You know, which is why I started a whole nother division of my company to try to help get them more motion.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you want to build this fan base, you want to build this buzz in your city, you got to go on a relentless run, and people have to see you as next up.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen because of your talent. It's gonna happen because of how you moving.
It's not going to happen because of the talent alone. It's not just talent. At the point where I think that needs to be beat into a lot of people's subconscious. Talent alone won't do it. Everybody's talented. Every city has their next up. Every neighborhood has their next up. Every church has their person who's killing Oh Happy Day. It's like everybody's smoking something. Something has to separate you from the pack. And that's kind of what you're teaching and what you're offering, along with building up as an artist.
Yes, sir.
That's dope.
Sir.
What are there any artists who you've developed with Star Factory who has took it to that next level?
Yeah. Okay. A girl named Diamond White. She went on. She was like top 5 on X Factor.
Okay.
She's like, she was in Medea, the Halloween movie.
Okay.
Medea, yep. So, yeah, she moved to LA and just like blew up. And I've had like starting out, I had like really like all of my artists that I had like became something in the city. It was just always that one thing that like kind of like pulled the plug on it. But probably my biggest like was supposed to be my meal ticket was my girl group Boy. That's how like most people in the city like learned to like really respect me, because I was like my third artist. So I had Jig, and I had Princeton, and I had Boy. And by the time Boy came, they was like, oh, he's for real.
Okay.
Like he got him and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I put in 3 years with them, and then we were about to sign with Noontime in Atlanta, who had Lloyd at the time. That's who Lloyd was signed to. And then the lead singer got pregnant, and it all just came, crumbling down. And I was like, I was at the time, I was like, all right, well, I already, I'd be having these artists, and then my clients be looking at me like, like how Will was looking at his dad.
Why they
like,
don't
what's
want
wrong with me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, why am I not your artist? So I decided that having an artist was almost a conflict of interest towards, me, my clientele.
Yeah.
And so I decided to just kind of just really stop having artists.
Okay.
But since then, a girl named LaBrittany, she went on and blew up. She went viral. Like we went viral like 15 times on this piece of content we did called the La Mix. And then I worked with Nisha Nashay on her rise. I worked with T Grizzly when he first got out, taught him how to, rock the stage. Shayna Wilson, gospel artist. It's a bunch of others, but like in Detroit now, we got like a huge, Detroit rap movement.
Yeah.
But on the R&B side, which is like the majority of my lane, it's been like we can count back to Aaliyah.
Yeah.
How many have we had since Aaliyah?
Aaliyah with Tierra Marie,
Queen Naija. That's it. If you want to put Armand and Trey in there, you want to put Kim in there. You can put Kim in there.
I think that was Dwelle right after Aaliyah.
Yeah, Dwelle. Yeah. But
it ain't been much.
Yeah, and that's just what like when I say Motown weird, that's really what I mean, because like these singers, they need like labels. They need that investment.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm really fighting for right now, is trying to get people to really start labels and try to get labels to, like really invest in our R&B talent. And really just yesterday, one of my current clients, she went viral on everything. Shade Room, World Star.
Okay.
Her name is REB. So she's like the next one that's about to be out of here.
Dope. In dealing with artists, what is it that you're looking for in an artist when you decide to take them on as a client? What are some of the, let's say, some of the main things that you're looking for? And then also, what are some of the things that will turn you off from working with a client?
Well, when it comes to a client, I don't really screen them like that.
Okay.
In order to get in my boot camps, I just got to be able to hear a song that you made.
Okay.
And I got to hear that you got music making ability.
Okay.
But it's like, I've been, this is my 19th year. And so I have slept on people. I have seen somebody was like, nah, and then seen them just go crazy. So I like when I meet somebody, I'm always going like, I'm gonna believe that you can do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so really it's not about the talent. It's just about, do you have the will for this?
Okay.
So that's what I look for. It's like, do you have the will to where if your transmission goes out, you gonna still be able to get here?
Yeah.
If you get your heart broken, you still gotta be able to, be consistent with this, because that's really the thing. It's like, when you, as an artist, you are grooming the hearts and minds of people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're putting building blocks like in their mind, and trying to convert them to a fan. So when you take a break, all them blocks get knocked over, and you got to start over from scratch. Can't take breaks when you're trying to build that, that fan base. So it's a large part of my job is motivation. It's pep talks, and I got in my studio right now.
Yeah,
it's like about 10 artists in there and 4 producers. And those are the ones that are like most likely to succeed because they grind. So they was complaining to me that it's not enough producers in the city. They're getting their beats from YouTube. So I was like, I called up some producers. I was one that just came here. I was like, hey, I'm gonna just put y'all all in a room and just see what kind of magic happens.
That's super dope right there, man. I think that's important too, because somebody who's doing as much as you are, and somebody who's to this point has accomplished as much as you are, to say, "Oh, I'm not closing the door to nobody." If you saying that you have what it takes and you're willing to put the work in, I'm gonna work with you. Like that right there is another major key. And I feel it because once you miss out on that one because you didn't see it, at its potential, on your hand, it's like, yo, I don't want to miss out, but then I don't want to be the reason you don't pursue your dream either.
Exactly.
So that's super dope.
Because low key, that was me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was whack in the beginning.
Yeah, what you started off
and
yeah.
Even like to this day, like my mother still don't think I can sing because that was her first impression of me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember when.
So it's like, like I am the poster child, for artist development. So I can't sleep on nobody.
That's dope. So what does an artist have to do if they want to become a part of Star Factory? Like, how would they reach out to you? How would they get in contact with you? Like, what would they do?
Just DM me or hit the website. I mean, they can sign up right there on the website, or they can inquire on the website, or they can call the number, and we'll get back with them.
Okay, dope. It's gonna transition a little bit to Love and Marriage Detroit.
Okay.
Interesting, very interesting, very mature, but still entertaining. How did that opportunity come about?
That was really that was through my wife.
Okay.
Somebody hit her up about the opportunity, and then I was just like,
reality TV, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is I've done I've done my own reality show on YouTube twice. I did one for Cast Tech, this program I run there called Adidas Sound Labs. And then I did one for this girl group I was forming back in the day. So I've always wanted to be on one.
Okay.
But I wanted it to be centered around music.
Yeah.
So just like putting my marriage on Front Street and all of that, and then knowing how marriage is.
Yeah.
Marriage is all this stuff we done talked about. Yeah. Man, marriage the hardest thing I done ever did in my entire life.
Yes.
So I was a little reserved, but we went ahead and interviewed anyway, and they loved us. And I was being like really real, and they wanted us. So once I found out the other people who was gonna be on the show, I was like, all right, let's do it.
Okay.
But then those other people backed out. And so the cast that we ended up getting was not the original people. We were the only original couple who was casted.
Okay.
The other people were like, because of the people who got who dropped out. And so like knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't agree to do it if I knew it was those people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we went ahead and did it because one of those couples was our friend couple.
Okay.
And that ain't it no more. And then the other couple, were like acquaintances, but then like when the camera turned on, old boy started wilding out. So
start acting for the camera.
Yeah.
So overall, would you consider that a positive experience for you, a negative experience for you, a wash? How would you look at that?
Well, us going into season 2, because as of today, we are one episode into season 2.
Okay.
It's another one that comes on tonight at 8 p.m. on OWN. It's still up in the air for me.
Okay.
Because I was just thinking that it was going to be a little more stardom, more opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bigger platform.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give season 2 a chance just to see. But I can say that filming it was a little bit of both. It was like very stressful because it's like every little thing you say is going to get made into
something bigger,
a scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you say, oh, you whatever you say, it's like you gotta stand on it. And then every little thing, every little confrontation, it's got to be confronted. I mean, everything's got to be confronted, and then you got to try to resolve it on camera. So in that sense, it was stressful. But then in the other sense, it forced me and my wife to like really communicate a lot.
Yeah.
So that was the positive thing. But then when it airs, that's a whole nother beast.
Yeah, after the edits and everything.
I mean, I feel like season 1, the editing was pretty fair.
Okay.
But it's just like, like as a man, you be feeling, it's like you feel a certain way about certain things. And then the woman, same thing. And so when you see people agreeing with you on these comments, you start feeling, you start feeling like, see, but then she doing the same thing though. Because it's people that's agreeing with her point of view. It's people that's agreeing with my point of view. And so that can really cause a lot of tension if you let it.
Okay.
So that's where it gets crazy.
Okay. So overall, would you say, as far as how much, not necessarily positive or negative or what specifically, not necessarily that, but how much of an effect has the show had on your actual marriage outside of the show?
I don't think it has had a major effect on it.
Okay.
I would say it had a more positive effect. Season 1, just because communication was one of our big issues, and it forced us to communicate. But I would say it has been more positive than negative because it does connect you with other married people. You get to talk to a lot of other married people who, want to give you advice. And, but it's actually more haters than anything. Like,
not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, man, you open up Twitter and these people just think that this little sliver of entertainment that you went and recorded is just your whole identity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These women, woo, man,
they try to kill you, man. They go hard, man.
Yeah, I don't even read the comments on Twitter no more because I don't know what type of women these are.
Oh man.
But yeah, like I'll just be hitting block after block after block.
Block list got Hakeem Olajuwon number. That's great. So, comparing that process, because you said something initially you thought a little bit more would come from it as far as the celebrity and the popularity, and the residual, things that would come in from being on the own network, Oprah's network, things like that. Is this something that, because every other situation you kind of spoken about, you've hustled the situation, you hustled the songwriting, you hustled the Star Factory, you hustled everything you've done. Is this something that you're saying that, yo, I'm going to put that same amount of hustle into it to make it that, or you don't want to invest that much into it? Because it seems like for all of the very few of the reality shows like that I've seen that have to do with relationships, it's a lot of what you said. The more popular you get, the more in your history they dig into, the more hating they try to find, the more they try to find something negative to say before you're even that, he's not all that. So it's like, do you even want to get that with this and have to deal with that? Because now this is something real. It's your marriage and, eighth grade girlfriend coming back and wanting to say something from, that whole type of thing. So is that something you really want to build on, or just kind of let it take its course?
Well, like I know that this is a very great opportunity. That only, as of season 2, only 10 people in this whole city got an opportunity to do. So I'm not going to sleep on it. It's just I had to understand what it was. Season 1, I'm just like, I didn't, like I got a bunch of new following and a whole new audience, but they don't give a F about nothing artist development, nothing, that I'm doing on the music side.
Yeah.
And so it didn't translate into a lot.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out, what can I do to capitalize on this new following? So I started this company called songswithlove.com, where we basically write your we'll write your love story. So, you want to surprise your girl for anniversary. Boom, we give you a questionnaire. You tell us about the relationship, how you met. Boom, we'll write you a crazy dope song to play for her and surprise her with. And so far it's like most of the songs we written for the women, like, they'll smile and yada yada yada. But it's like all the songs we wrote for the dudes be the ones crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So songswithlove.com, like that's really the wave I'm on right now. I got a team full of songwriters and like incredibly talented. And we writing songs that are really just capturing memories forever.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. Man, the dopest thing about this interview so far for me is out of my 15 questions I got wrote down, I've only been able to ask 9 of them. Because you've answered all the other before I got like I was gonna go into that next about because I watched a couple of those videos that you posted with the songwriting, and that was super dope. Like, but you just keep it like I ain't complaining at all. But it's just so dope that a lot of the things that when I did my research on you that I looked up and I thought was important, you hit on them. So it was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's what's important to him too, because that's something that's super dope, especially for dudes out there, women out there looking for Valentine's Day gifts, Swedish Day gifts. You send it in, you give them your story, they'll write and sing that song, and you can give your significant other their own personalized ballad. That's dope, because I saw that, and that's one of the things when I saw that, I put the headphones in because I didn't want my girl to hear it. I'm like, I might have to get up on that one.
No,
like,
I got you.
Yeah, that was kind of dope, man. So songswithlove.com. Definitely want to make sure we promote that, because when I saw that, I'm like, that's dope. I don't know if that's something that's out in the universe if other people are doing it or not, but that was my first time seeing it. So when I saw it, it immediately hit me as something dope. And then a Black-owned company doing it. So the lyrics are going more often than not hit and relate to what you're doing and the style and the format and all that. So that was definitely something I was going to bring up, because I'm definitely going to steal that. I'm definitely need one of them because that's dope.
Sir.
Man, so yeah, that's fire. That's definitely fire, man. They told me to keep it at about an hour. Bro, I can sit here and talk all day. I've been keeping my eye on the clock. I know you're very busy, and I've been trying to make sure I respect your time and everything that you got going on. You was just saying you got artists in the studio and things like that. But one of the reasons we call the show Plug City is because we want to use this as a vehicle for everybody who have things going on to plug it, to promote it, to get it out there. We can do whatever we can do to help build it as much as possible, or the reach that we have to be able to put that out there. So I know you said for artists who are looking to, if they want to look up Star Factory and be a part of it, they can reach out on the website or the DM. You want to give them the website or the DM so they can pop at you?
So the site is starfactoryad.com. That's also the Instagram. You can follow me, Brandon Smith Inc. INC. And then the phone number is 248-541-5155.
There you have it, man. So greatly appreciate you for stopping by to kick it with us. We know you're busy. Know you got a lot going on, man. So thank you for your time. Thank you for rocking with us, man. And I just want to say, as a human being, man, thank you for your sincerity, man. Because there's so many people who in your situation would be me first. And it sounds like your thing is, let me take my me and divide that by us and let us build up something dope. So taking your time to use your blessings to help other artists, to help other people who want to get on, to be just a beacon of a positive relationship. And let people, even though you're saying, yo, this ain't as beneficial for me as I want, but season 2, because I want y'all to see this, man, that's dope. So many people think hustle only, me only, profit only, and to hear you be in positions that those people want to be in, being a we and a us type mentality, lets people know that you don't have to be so selfish or self-centered to achieve your goals. You can help the whole while it's still benefiting you. And that was one of the main things that I hope people take from hearing you talk, is you don't have to be an a-hole or a jerk to be successful. You can have morals and principles and stand on what you stand on. So thank you for just being you and being that and putting that into the ethos, letting people see that. So that's amazing, man. We definitely appreciate you. We definitely want to make sure you get your flowers. Hope everything that you're a part of continues to grow and to succeed. I will be purchasing the song for sure. And I'm going to make sure I check out season 2 of Love and Marriage Detroit, man. This is Plug City. Dope Ideas Media, Hank Nation TV. Got June, we got Hank, B. Smith. Thank you for coming, chopping it up with us, bro.
Appreciate it, man. This was super dope, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
So, catch you next time.
Ideas Media. Dope Ideas Media.
Dope ideas.